Bleed for This stars Miles Teller and is the true story of World Championship boxer Vinny Pazienza, who after a near-fatal car crash left him not knowing if he'd ever walk again. And he made one of sport's most incredible comebacks. This movie also stars Aaron Eckhart as his trainer, and the guy that played Aberforth in Harry Potter. That was pretty cool. I've been excited to see this movie for a long time. It was supposed to come out last August, but I do think that they moved it because we had Southpaw last year and Creed, so they didn't want to put it in the middle. But now we get it in Oscar season, and this movie was great. It showed me why I really love boxing films. If it's a true story or a made-up story, I love boxing films. And it does just that. This movie is cliche. It has all the typical things to a boxing story, and I loved every moment of it. Let's start with the acting. The acting is great. I watched some interviews previously about Vinny Pazienza, and they showed some things after the movie about him as well, so they had some real footage, and I think Miles Teller did a great job. Not only did he kind of look the part with the little mustache, but he also sounded a lot like Vinny. When Miles Teller was acting, I really felt the determination to get back into the game. He had gotten into a car accident and he had the screws in his head, and even at the slightest bump or fall could really fracture his spine, and he really wanted to get back into the game, and you felt like it wasn't for fame or money. He just loved the game of boxing. And that's what I like about boxing movies, besides a few ones here and there, is that there's always a determination in the actor or the character to get back into the game. And he just really showed why he loved boxing, and it wasn't for fame or money. It was just because he loved it and that's all he knew. So I do think that Miles Teller did a great job in here, alongside Aaron Eckhart, who I think this is the best acting he's ever done. He was really great in Sully previously this year, but here he put on some weight, he shaved some of his head, and he did really great too. He was a person who was drunk a lot, and you weren't sure if he could actually lead Miles Teller to another world championship, but he did, and he helped out a lot, and you could also tell the care in the game from him as well. The relationship was a little rough at times, but you also felt like they clicked as well. Now there is some downtime after he gets into the car accident and he returns home and is just sitting there watching TV, and then he decides to pick up some weights and get back to work. There is some downtime in those moments, but it's also a little inspirational. People say he would never box again, maybe not even walk again, so he decided that he would try to heal his own body and get down in the basement and lift some weights and get back into the ring. And I found that to be very inspirational. There's a lot of determination from Miles Teller in the character. The movie is cliche. Boxing movies are just cliche. You have him in his prime of his life, he gets hurt or something, and then he works up to fight again, and it's cliche, but it embraces it and does it really well. The boxing scenes are not as edgy as I would like them to be. I've seen some films that have handled their boxing scenes a little better. Some of the boxing scenes towards the end didn't feel very hyped up, or like there's like powerhouse moments. You know, when I watch boxing films, I get like really chills and I'm just really excited in the fight scenes, but I just didn't feel too excited when watching the boxing scenes. But that's okay, because I really did like the story besides that it was inspirational, and I liked the acting, and I liked the person who Vinny Pazienza was. He wasn't into drugs or drinking, or the fame didn't get to his head, and that's one of the problems I had with Hands of Stone. But this movie was great. I loved the acting, and I loved the story it told. So I'm going to go ahead and give Bleed for This an A-. So if you guys have seen Bleed for This, where does it stand with some most recent boxing films like Hands of Stone, Creed, Southpaw? I do think that Creed is better than this movie, but I do think Bleed for This is a little better than Southpaw and Hands of Stone. We all know what I felt about that movie. So this is Just Watch Movies with the review of Bleed for This. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. You can also find my Facebook page at the same name. The link will be down below for that. This is Just Watch the Movies, and you stay classy too.